Well, the tragic day has finally come. Google has completely banned uBlock Origin from the Chrome Web Store, meaning you can no longer install or use the best ad blocker on Chrome. Sadly, the majority of people saw this coming. This has been a plan that Google has been slowly rolling out since the start of last year. Now in this video, I'm going to tell you why Google's banning uBlock and other ad blockers, how ad blockers work, and maybe some steps you can take to bypass this ban. Now let's get into the reason Google banned uBlock. Now if we take a look at the Chrome Web Store, it says uBlock doesn't follow best practices for Chrome extensions. It's a little generic. Does that mean uBlock is violating some crazy law Google set in place? Are they stealing our data? Are they selling it off? Not exactly. About a year ago, Google said they are upgrading something they called the Manifest v2 to Manifest v3. Now, if you're not familiar with the world of Chrome extensions, the Manifest is a JSON file that all Chrome extensions must have. It gives details like the name of the extension and the permissions that this extension has on your computer. Now, every Chrome extension must upgrade, and Google said that the Manifest v3 is for security upgrades and to ensure all Chrome users' privacies are protected. However, this new upgrade completely kills ad blockers. It removes certain features that ad blockers rely on. Now, one of the main techniques that uBlock and other ad blockers use to stop ads from showing up is called request filtering. uBlock is able to see requests coming into your browser from whatever website you visit. From there, it can differentiate if the website is sending you content or if it's sending you an ad. It can do that in a few ways. It can sometimes see what server is sending you this data, and if it doesn't match the website server, or if it's a known ad server, it will block that request. uBlock also stops JavaScript from dynamically being loaded in, which a lot of ads rely on. To be able to do all that, uBlock relies on an API built into Chrome called Web Request. However, with Manifest version 3, extensions are no longer allowed to use this API. And one of the final nails in the coffin, one of the final flexes that Google is doing is setting a 30,000 rule limit for network request filtering. Now, 30,000 may seem like a lot, but think about this. There are hundreds and thousands of ad servers ready to make you buy the latest Amazon products, shoes, or anything that you really don't need. So this list will not cover even a quarter of that. It's like uBlock is trying to drain the ocean with a little bucket. And Google is claiming to make this change in the name of privacy and protection. And like you, I'm not gullible. I know this is not the true reason Google is making this change, but I do want to make a point towards Google here. For sites like Twitch and YouTube that have ads before videos, ad blockers would continuously send requests to those websites, check where the response is coming from. If it's from an ad server, it denies the request coming in and then resends the request again and again and again until it gets the proper video. That's a problem for these websites. Some poorly implemented ad blockers would not know whether an ad or a real video just came in, and they would request videos over and over and over again until they were satisfied that the real video has come in. Essentially, these ad blockers were committing a DDoS attack against Twitch and YouTube. But that's the only defense I could give towards Google. In reality, this Manifest v3 update is specifically targeting ad blockers and trying to get rid of them. Now for the real reason, the one I believe and the one that you probably believe and anyone with the conscience believes on why Google is pushing this change. To no one's surprise, it's because Google relies on ads. All of their revenue comes from ads. Google search ads, YouTube ads, everything on YouTube, on Google is run through ads. So ad blockers are a huge thorn in Google's side. They most likely saw the insane statistics for uBlock Origin, for how many downloads it has, and they said, you know what, we need to put an end to all of this. But have no fear, my ad blocking brethren and sistren, even though things may seem bleak, there are still ways that we can enjoy our ad blocking paradise in peace. Now, if you're still wanting to use Chrome and you had uBlock Origin previously installed, you can actually reactivate the extension by going to Manage Extensions and then toggling right here. This will fully reactivate the original uBlock Origin, But again, this methodology won't work with new browsers or if you reinstalled Chrome, and I'm not sure how long Google will actually allow this method to work. Now, what I'm going to be doing and what most of you will probably have to do, and this actually kind of sucks, is switch to a different browser, one that will allow ad blocking. I'm currently using one called Zen. It's based off of Firefox, and I know that's a whole different story that I've previously covered and felt passionate about. But this browser is run by a smaller team, it's open source, and so far it's been working pretty well for me. I really like the layout, I like the style, and all of the ad blocking features are still enabled. Another browser option that touts itself for its ad blocking capability is Brave. Brave's entire message is the fact that they allow and promote ad blocking. And Brave seems like a fine option, I just have some hesitations with it. It's essentially a Chromium fork with some different features, however it still relies heavily on Google's work. And unless Brave is really willing to maintain their fork of Chromium to a completely different standard than Google's, meaning they will have large conflicts if they ever try to really merge in any code, they might have to also implement this Manifest v3. And one of the most interesting projects is the Ladybird browser. Instead of being a fork like the other two options, this one is a completely independent browser. But the problem is it's not out yet, so it's not a viable solution just yet. However, there is another light in this tunnel that no one could have seen coming. That's right, the FTC is suing Google in an antitrust lawsuit, hoping to force them to sell off Chrome and Android. And with these Manifest version 3 changes, it's clear why this needs to go through. Google has a huge monopoly over how we use the web. Banning ad blockers was just a small flex of their power. If they're able to continue on this path, our web experience could degrade seriously. And I'm usually opposed to government intervention, especially on internet browsing. I usually think they make huge mistakes and slow down progress. But in this case, when it has to do with Google and its huge monopoly, I think this might be the best course of action we can see. However, that's in the distant future. We don't even know if this lawsuit will go through. For now, my browser journey continues. I'm going to be trying out other browsers to make sure they're adblock compatible. And maybe in the end, this all becomes futile and we're forced to watch Mr. Beast Bar, Lunchly, and Prime advertisements until they squeeze every penny out of us. But until that day happens, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.